Number 1, what's the first clue word that you see? Cone. The name of the shape is cone. It gives you a radius of 6 and a height of 10. And then what is it asking you to find? What is the volume? Okay, so the first thing that you are going to do is label what they gave you. I need everybody's eyes with me. They gave me the R is 6 and the H is 10. Now I'm going to write the formula from my star sheet. So I'm going to go to what section? Volume. So go to volume. What shape are we talking about? So if I had not changed this, I would be struggling right now. So I'm going to write 1/3 pi r squared h right here. Make sure that you write the formula exactly how it is written on your star chart. Now we're going to ask ourselves, do we have the pieces of this formula that we need? We need an R and an H. Do we have that? So all we're going to do is plug it in. So I'm going to do 1/3 times pi times the radius. What's the radius? 6 to the second power times the height, which is 10. And then I'm just going to put that in my calculator. Everybody should be putting it in. Everybody remembers where pi is, yes? And there's our answer, 376. Oh, look what the answers, though. What did they leave in the answers? No, everybody look. What does every single answer say right here? Pi. So instead of putting pi in my calculator, I'm just going to leave it out and then put it back in my answer. So watch. So 1/3. Instead of times pi, I'm going to skip it. Times 6 squared times 10. And the answer is what? 120 with pi still attached because they did not put that into the final answer. That could absolutely be on the benchmark. So just basically if you put it in your calculator, you don't see your answer, you could just go put it in. Like, what was our first answer? It was this times pi. This was our answer, right? So if you wanted to do it like that, then you would just put all of these in your calculator with pi and see which one gives you this. So the answer was this, yes? So look what happens when I put in 120 times pi. Did I get the same thing? So you could just expand it out if you want to. So either way. All right, number 2. A student took 32 minutes to complete a 20-question history assignment. Choose 2 points that lie on this line with the slope that best represents the number of questions completed. All right, look at the x-axis. What does it say? And time in minutes. Is 32 minutes on here? No. So what did I tell y'all to do if the number isn't on there? You take these two numbers and what? Take these two numbers and do what? Divide. What number has to go on top? The y. So which one's the y? Number of questions. So which number is going to go on top? 20 over 32. So if I do 20 divided by 32, that is the rate. I can write an equation. That's the slope. So my equation is y equals 0.625x. Now I can find as many points on this line as I want to by using my y equals button. So go to y equals and type in that equation, 0.625x. Okay, where would I go to see points? The table. So second graph. All right, I'm looking to see if 5, 8 is on there. Is 5, 8 on there? Yes or no? Yes or no? Thank you. All right, let's see if 8, 5 is on there. Is 8, 5 on there? So that's one of my answers right here. What's this one? 10, 16? Is 10, 16 on there? Nope. Is 16, 10? Well, I got to scroll down and find it. Yes. Okay, I'll explain it again.
Second graph.
Okay, hold on. They gave me two numbers that I had to graph, but they weren't on the graph. So all I had to do was divide, but it is very important you put the y on top. It's always y over x, okay? So I saw questions over minutes, so 20 divided by 32, and that's where I got this number. And then I just made an equation out of it, and then I went to my y equals button and typed in the equation, and then go to the table by hitting second graph. And then that will tell you all the points that would fall on that line, which are these two. Make sense? Okay, turn the page. Similar figures. What is one strategy I taught you for this? Highlight. Yes? Corresponding sides. So 4 corresponds with what side over here? 2.4. Now on the test tomorrow there is a highlighter tool, but on DMAC there's only I think one color. On the Real Star test there's more. So you could draw this on your paper and then use your highlighters because you're absolutely allowed to use highlighters. Or you could use like squiggly lines and whatever, you know, like different types of lines. All right, what side does 2 correspond with? 1.2. What side does 5 correspond with? 3. And what side does x correspond with? Oops, I already used that color. Oh, here we go. That's going to be yellow. Okay, so I could use my colors down here and say, okay, x and y are yellow. That's good so far, yes? X and y are yellow. And then 3 and 5 are both green, so my colors match there. 3 and 5 are both green. And 2 and 4, do 2 and 4 even go together? So these are out. So now I have to decide between these. So let's talk about it. X comes from the bigger shape or smaller shape? The bigger shape. Y comes from the... So if this is set up correctly, the 3, because it's across from the X, also has to come from the big shape. But does 3 come from the big shape?
No.
Nope, it comes from small, so it can't be A. Let's look at D. X comes from big, Y comes from small, 5 comes from big, 3 comes from small. So this is set up correctly because X and Y correspond, they go together, and X and 5 go together because they're from the same shape. So the answer is D. Number 4 is a question that looks hard, but it's actually very, very easy. Okay, if you look at this problem right here, what number has the X?
2.
So that means it's going to have the clue word per, each, every, or and it's going to also go with an 18. And then over here, what number has the variable? So that 3 is going to have the per, each, every, or and it needs to go with an 11. And then we're going to say that this side is bigger, yes, because the alligator mouth is open to this side, and this side is smaller. So let's read a problem that says that. It says Tori is on the 18th step from the bottom of a staircase and goes up 3 steps every second. Can y'all tell me if that's right or wrong automatically?
Wrong.
Why not?
Because it's not in the right order.
They have 3 with 18, and 3 goes with 11, so that's not it. I didn't even have to read the whole thing. Part B. Anna has made 18 bracelets and continues to make 2 bracelets each day. How's that so far? Good. All right. Elliot has made 11 bracelets and continues to make 3 bracelets each day. Good so far? Then it says, after how many days X will Elliot have more? If Elliot is with 3X and 11, then we're good because this side needs to be what? Bigger. So which one was Elliot? Elliot has 11 bracelets and continues to make 3 each day. They want Elliot to have more. So is that correct? Yes. Very, very, very easy. All right, turn the page. This is called a what? Scatter plot. So you're either going to make a prediction or interpret. So let's see what it wants you to do. The scatter plot shows the number of practice shots a basketball team took during each practice and the number of free throws the team missed in its game. Complete the sentences to describe the trend. Select one correct answer in each box. All right, here we go. The data shows that as the number of practice shots taken increases, the number of free throws missed, what's happening? It's going down. It is decreasing. So again, the number of practice shots they take, the number that they miss in the game goes down. This trend is it strong or weak? I would say it's pretty strong. There's some outliers over here, but overall it's pretty strong. And is it a positive association or negative? What's it doing?
It's going down.
It's going down. It's negative. It's going down. All right, number 6. The volume of salt water on Earth's surface is approximately that much. How is this number written in scientific notation? Who tells me what to do? Mode. So I'm going to go in my calculator. Everybody should be doing this. To mode, what am I going to do?
Normal scientific.
Go to SCI and hit enter. Go back to your home screen. When you type this number in, do you put in the commas? No. So I'm going to type in 350. And then I need 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 zeros after that. So I'm going to have to go count. Done. Hit enter, and there's my answer. The hardest part was counting. So 3.5 times 10 to the 20th power. Now, before I move on, what do you think I need to do? Go back to normal, because all my answers will now be in scientific. So I'm going to go to mode, normal, and hit enter. All right, the next question. It says the value of y is. What does y is mean? Y is. Y equals. Write that down. Do you think we're going to write an equation?
Yes.
All right. 6 less than. What can y'all tell me about less than? We can't put 6 minus. We have to switch their spots. So it's something minus 6. The quotient. What's a quotient? Say it. A division problem. So I'm going to divide x and 4. So x divided by 4. You could write it like this, x divided by 4. But in algebra, we write it as a fraction, x over 4. Could I now put this equation in my y equals button? And will it help me match a graph? Yes. So we're going to go to y equals. And we're going to type in alpha y equals x. Now, please remember the x button is right here. You can't hit the multiplication button. So x, let me zoom in, over 4, tab out, minus 6. Now, if I hit graph, that's really not going to help me much, except that I can see it has a positive slope. So I know it's not going to be D or C. You'll see what I'm saying? But what is really going to help me is the table. Everybody see the table? Do we see that it's a positive slope going up? So I can automatically take off C because what kind of slope is this? Negative, and can I automatically take off D?
Yes.
All right, the other thing I can kind of see is it looks like it's going through the y-axis near -6, but both of these are, so that doesn't really help me. So I'm going to go to the table, so second graph. And then I'm going to find some whole numbers like 4, -5. And I'm going to go to the graph and say, hey, there has to be a point at 4, -5. Is there a point right here? So this one's good. Is there a point on this one at 4, -5? No. So it has to be A. So what was the first thing I had to do? Make an equation out of the words. Then use your y equals button. You can look at the graph if it helps you, but most likely you're going to want to look at that table and match the coordinates, okay? All right, number 8. Everybody ready? An investor deposited $6,100 in an investment account. The account pays 3.1% interest compounded annually. Do y'all see a clue word?
Compounded annually.
All right, that is a big deal because that tells me I've got to go to my star chart and write the formula down for compound interest. So I'm going to write this formula down. So A equals, write it down, P, open parentheses, 1 plus R, close parentheses, to the T power. The investor leaves the money in the account for 2 years. They make no deposits or withdrawals. What is the balance? What does balance mean? Total. So stop and ask yourself, what does this formula solve for? Total amount. So all I need to do is use this formula. Yes? All right, so let's go plug in our numbers. What is the P, the principal, the starting amount? 6,100, open parentheses. 1 plus, what is the rate? 3.1%. But I have to change it to a, all right, so I put it over 100. Or if you remember from 6th grade, you move the decimal 2 places to the left. So 0.031. And how many years? So that's your exponent. So all I have to do is put this in my calculator. And which answer matches that in money? C. All right, number 9. I see that it's a graph. I don't know what I'm being asked to do. I don't see an equation here, so I don't know. We're going to have to read it. It says Marin made an initial deposit into her savings account. Each month, she deposits the same amount into the account. The graph shows the linear relationship. Which amount best describes her initial deposit? Guys, what does it mean for initial? Starting amount. Did y'all hear me? Initial means starting amount. Now stop. In y equals mx plus b, what did we say the m is?
Slope.
Also known as rate. Yes? What did we say the b is? The y-intercept, also known as the starting amount. So what are they really asking for in this question? They're asking for the y-intercept. Look how easy this question was. It is between 1,200 and 1,500. So which one of those is between 1,200 and 1,500? C. Was there really any math involved in this question? All you had to do was understand that initial amount is a y-intercept. Okay, number 10. Triangle KLM is rotated. What is the clue word?
Rotated.
What are you going to do right away? Draw a happy face man for a rotation. You can use the back of your star chart. So go to your star chart and draw a nice and neat picture of happy face man. What do I have to label? The x-axis over here, the y-axis here, and my happy face man in quadrant 1. Now I'm going to ask myself, how many times is it going to rotate and which way?
2 spots.
270.
3 spots.
3 spots. It goes 90, 180, 270. So 3 spots. And what does this say? So like a clock. So I'm going to go to happy face and I'm not going to turn my picture until I count 3 spots like a clock. So here's my spot, yes? Like a clock. 1, 2, 3. It needs to go in the top left. So turn your paper to where happy face is in the top left. Did the X and Y axis switch spots? Yes, they did. The Y is on the left, so it's going to get a negative. So negative Y, positive X. So which one says negative Y, positive X?
I was just about to ask you like that because whenever we used to do that subject, I used to get confused.
You got it now?
They would switch places. Do they switch?
So look, so when we started, this was the x-axis. When I turned it, the x-axis is no longer the x-axis. They switch spots. So that's how you know they switch. Okay? Do you all understand that one? Are we good? Okay. The next one. Triangle FGH is shown on the coordinate plane. It is rotated. Oh, I need my highlighter. 90 degrees clockwise. Now, I thought I needed happy face man, but they're not asking me about the rule. They're just asking me what happens when I rotate a shape. So let's talk about it. Everybody look at my hand. When I rotate it, did it change size?
No.
Did it change shape?
No.
Everything is the
Same.
except my view of it, the orientation. All right, so it says, select one correct answer in each box to complete the sentence. Triangle FGH is it congruent? Is it similar? Is it not similar? It's congruent. It is the exact same. The orientation of the vertices are the same or not the same? They're not. The orientation means the view. They're not the same.
I prefer that.
Because it turned. Okay? Y'all feel okay with that one? All right, number 12. A box of rice is shaped like a rectangular prism. Did you hear a clue word?
Rectangular.
Rectangular prism. So highlight it or circle it. The box has a length of 6, a width of 1.5, and a height of 8.5. What is the total surface area? Did you see another clue?
Yes. Area.
What are they asking for?
The area.
Give me more. Total surface area. So before I do anything, I'm going to go to my star chart to surface area. Here it is. What shape am I looking for? Prism or cylinder? Prism. Did it ask for lateral or total? So I need to write this formula down. pH plus 2b. To use this formula, what do I need? What do I need here?
You need
I need a P. What else? An H
and a B.
and a B. Now stop. They gave you the what? They gave you the height. What is it?
8.5.
Once you write the height down, you do what? Mark it out. You'll never use it again. Now, in a rectangular prism, what kind of base does it have? A rectangle. So I'm just going to go draw a little rectangle over here. And it tells me it has a width of 1.5 and a length of 6. I don't have to draw the whole thing. I just need the base because P means perimeter of the base and B means area of the base. Why did I not write 8.5 in my picture? Because the height has nothing to do with the base. That's why we mark it out. All right, how do you find perimeter of anything? Add all the sides. So I'm going to add 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 6 plus 6, which is 15. Now, anytime you see a big B, you go where? Right here. And what kind of shape is the base? A rectangle. So I need to do length times width. So 6 times 1.5 is 9. Now do I have all the pieces that I need? Yep, so I'm going to do P times H. So I'm just putting them in this formula, plus 2 times the B. And that will give me my answer. And the answer is 145.5.
That next one confuses me.
Okay, number 13. A triangle is shown with squares 1, 2, and 3. What do y'all see right here in the middle? What kind of shape is this?
A triangle.
What kind of triangle? A right triangle. So what did we learn? Pythagorean theorem, right? We learned that the two smaller squares will always add up to equal the bigger square. All right, it says, which measurements in units for sides of the squares that show the triangle is a right triangle? They're just saying, which one of these numbers would make a right triangle? Guys, all you're going to do is say, which ones would this be true? All right, so look at A. Out of these three numbers, which one is the biggest? So 10 has to be A, B, or C. This has to be the C because in a right triangle, the biggest side is always side C. So all I'm going to do is say, is 6 squared plus, somebody set this up for me.
Is 6 squared plus
8 squared equal to 10 squared.
Thank you. Is 6 squared plus 8 squared equal to 10 squared? And I'm going to say yes, or I'm going to say no. And I just got to go test it out in my calculator. Is 6 squared plus 8 squared, hit enter, equal to 10 squared? Yes. Is it asking for a right triangle or not a right triangle?
Right triangle.
So that's my answer. Let's just do B. We'll only do one more so that y'all can see one that doesn't work. Out of 4, 2, and 3, which one's the biggest? So this would have to be the C. So I'm going to say, is 2 squared plus 3 squared equal to 4 squared? So I'd say, okay, 2 squared plus 3 squared, 4 squared. Are those equal? No. Number 14. A triangle on a coordinate plane has a vertex at -7, -14. After a dilation, did y'all see a clue word? Dilation. What do we know about dilations? Dilations make a shape bigger or, okay? And it's a multiplication rule. Yes? Look at the answers. Can we mark anything out because they're not multiplication rules? No. They're all being multiplied. All right. It says the corresponding vertex is at -1, -2. Which rule applies? All right. We got to come up with a rule for a dilation. How do I get a rule? New
over old.
over old. So which one of these is the original? Let's see. A triangle has a vertex here. They dilate it to get to this one. So which one's new? This one's new. You can either use the X or the Y. I'm going to use the X because I highlighted it. So if I use this X, I have to use this X. X with X. So my rule is -1 over -7. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So it's just 1/7. So which one's the answer? Okay. Guys, if you see the word dilation, new over old. Okay? Number 15. The table shows several pairs of x and y values for a linear relationship. Create an equation. Guys, where do we write equations in our calculator? In stat. So I'm just going to go to stat, edit. I need to delete my list. And I'm going to type in x's in L1. And I'm going to type the y's in L2. Now where do I go? Stat, calc, and we need it to be linear, so option 4. And my equation is y equals 2.3 repeating. I'm going to write this down. Y equals 2.3333. I'm just going to put that. X minus, because see the minus sign? 0.6 repeating. So I need to change those to fractions, don't I? So I'm going to go back to my home screen, and I'm going to put in 2.3 repeating. I'm just going to put in as many as I can right here. And then I'm going to hit math, fraction, enter. What is it? 7/3. So y equals 7/3 x. And I'm going to try this one. 0.6 repeating. Let's see if it'll give it to me. Math, fraction, enter. It's 2/3. All right, so now I just have to pick my answer. Y equals, which one did we say, 7/3? So F is the correct answer there. Plus, is it positive 2/3 or negative 2/3? So it has to be C. Number 16. A pentagon has side lengths, and I'm not even going to read them all. Which statements about the side lengths of the pentagon are true? Select 2 correct answers. What are they wanting me to do? It says the shortest, the longest. So what am I going to change all of these to? I need to change them to decimal so I can see which one is the shortest and the longest. Okay, but am I going to round these? Yes, to the hundredths place. So the square root of 325. And I'm just going to round to the hundredths place. So 18 point, is it 02 or 03? 03, if I round. Okay, so there's that one. This one I need to change. So alpha y equals option 2, 18 and 3/5. Math, decimal, enter. How much money is this? 1860. Is this one already in money form? So I'm going to leave it 17.99. This one I need to change, so alpha y equals option 2. Math, decimal, enter. This is $18. Is it 41 cents or 42? So 42, and there's one more number down here, the square root. I'm going to put it right here. The square root of 290. So the square root of 290, and I need to round it to money, is $17.02 or 3 cents. If I round 3, so $17.03. Which one of those is the biggest? Huh? 1860, right? So this is the biggest. I'm going to label it. This is the biggest. All right, which one's the smallest? 17. So this is the smallest. So we have to pick 2 answers that are correct. So here we go. The shortest side is the square root of 290. Was that true? Yeah. So now I just need to find one more thing that's true. The longest side was 18 and 5/12. Was that the one I labeled longest? No. So it can't be that one. Now we're going to see which one of these is true. The square root of 325 was $18.03 is greater than 18 and 3/5. Is that true? 1803 is bigger than 1860? No. $17.99 is less than the square root of 290. Well, here's the square root of 290. Is that true? No, that's bigger. So it has to be this one, but let's check it. 18 and 3/5, that was 1860, is greater than 18 and 5/12, so that was 18.42. Is $18.60 bigger than 1842? Yes. All right, number 17. Which table does not represent a what?
Function.
What's a function? We only look at the
X.
x's. The x's cannot,
Not
they can't repeat, but I'm looking for the one that is not a function. So is a function? No, why?
Because they're repeating.
They repeat, so that's my answer. I'm going to say it again. A function's x's cannot repeat. Because they repeated, this is not a function. So that was the answer. Number 18, the model represents an equation. So we need to write an equation and solve it. So here we go. How many x's are right here? How would I write that? 5x. How many ones? Positive or negative? Plus 2. What is this thing going to be right here in the middle? Equals how many x's? So 3x. How many ones? Are they positive or negative? Where do I solve an equation at? Y equals. So I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to put in the left side, so 5x plus 2, and y1. I'm going to put the right side, 3x plus 6, and y2. Where do I go now? Not graph. Graph won't solve anything. Second trace. You want to calculate. So second trace, option 5, wait for it to graph. And remember, if you don't get the answer, you have to fix your windows. Enter, enter, enter. The answer is 2. I'm going to say it again. If it gives you an error, you either put it in wrong or it can't see where they meet and you have to fix your windows to bigger. Last question. The diagram shows the distance between Odina's house and the library in miles. It also shows the distance between the library and the school. Which measurement is closest to the distance from Odina's house to the school? What kind of picture is this? A right triangle. Where on our star chart did we draw a right triangle? So you're going to write a squared. Write it down. Plus b squared equals c squared. Go find side C. Where does side C have to be? So if this is the right angle, this has to be what? All right, so I'm going to say this is A and this is B. I don't know A. So I say A squared plus, what is B? 4 squared equals 8 squared. Can I add? No, because I don't know this one. So I have to, excuse me? If I can't add, I have to subtract. So 8 squared minus 4 squared. 8 squared minus 4 squared. Is that my answer? No, that's not. What do I have to do to the answer? Square root it. The last step of Pythagorean theorem is to square root. The square root of 48 is 6.9. So the answer is C. Do not lose this. Okay, it's your study guide, but I'm going to take a grade on it. So when I see y'all Friday, you're going to turn these in.
Miss, you look there, you like all this free.